Hello beautiful people, this is Dawn, your tarot teacher here. Join me now as we continue our tarot learning journey with the beautiful card of Temperance. Temperance is number 14 in the Major Arcana, and 14 is associated with the process of transformation through balance and synthesis. Hermetically, it represents the union of opposites, the harmonious blending of spirit and matter, conscious and subconscious, fire and water. This mirrors the alchemical process where the raw elements are refined and integrated to achieve spiritual equilibrium and wholeness. If we reduce the digits, we have 1 plus 4, which is the Magician and the Emperor. Both represent action and the conscious application of willpower. Of course, 1 plus 4 equals 5, so number 14 embodies the qualities of 5, making it an outward expression of the Hierophant. With the Temperance card, we are offered a renewed sense of purpose which emerges through a process much like alchemy, tempering, modifying, adapting, and evolving to achieve greater equilibrium and balance. Creative transformation unfolds as tempering heats metal, crafting it into shape repeatedly until it becomes strong and unbreakable. Temperance brings together duality, blending the subconscious and conscious towards integration and wholeness. Through conjunction and reunification, the result is purified and harmonious. Ultimately, moderation in all things is key. So here we find the call to use our conscious will, not to dominate, but to refine. Temperance is the alchemist, transforming the raw elements of our lives into harmony, balance, and evolution. It's a card of creative transformation. In metallurgy, to temper metal, it must first be heated again and again until it becomes strong, flexible, and unbreakable. In the same way, temperance shows us that challenge refines our spirit. Through the fires of experience, we are strengthened and shaped into wholeness. In Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, temperance corresponds to Path 25, connecting Tiferet, the sphere of beauty, to Yesod, the sphere of foundation. This path represents the harmonizing bridge between the higher self and the subconscious. The Hebrew letter for this path is Samek, meaning support. It reminds us that this middle path requires inner strength, trust, and a deep commitment to balance. Temperance teaches us to walk between extremes, to unify opposites, integrate shadow and light, and embody equilibrium through divine guidance and moderation. Now let's take a closer look at the imagery of this card. Here we meet a radiant angel, Archangel Michael or Michael, whose name means the likeness of God. They stand with one foot upon solid rock, the other in a pool of water, bridging the realms of earth and spirit. The angel pours liquid from one golden chalice into another, creating the elixir of life, the perfect blending of duality into oneness. Behind them, a path winds towards a distant mountain, crowned with a glowing light, the crown of Keter from the Tree of Life, the promise of divine union and higher understanding. The angel's white robe symbolizes purity, and upon their chest, the upright triangle enclosed within a square represents fire, the spirit that enlivens and transforms, while the square grounds this energy, signifying the integration of spirit within matter. This union highlights the card's theme of blending the spiritual and the material into harmonious balance. The circle on their brow is the sun symbol, the light of divinity that reveals our true essence. The red wings carry the element of fire and transformation, while the tetragrammaton Yod-He Vov-He inscribed on the robe reminds us of divine presence within all things. Here we see 1 foot on the rock, 1 in the water. This is the teaching of temperance. To live in balance, we must be both grounded and spiritual, rooted in the physical world while open to the higher realms. Our spiritual practice should support our daily life, and our daily life anchors our spiritual growth. The iris flowers shown in this card are linked to the Greek goddess Iris and symbolize divine communication and the bridging of realms, reminding us that harmony is born from sacred integration and the flow between spirit and matter. The path rising through rolling hills echoes the principle of vibration, showing us that harmony is a dynamic living balance, not stillness but flow. At the path's end, the crown reminds us of our true purpose, the fulfillment of potential through beauty, harmony, and higher consciousness. The esoteric title of this card is The Daughter of the Reconcilers and the Bringer Forth of Life. This title reflects the card's core meanings and symbolism as seen in the surrounding context. Temperance is depicted as the force that unites opposites and harmonizes dualities, the reconcilers, by blending the spiritual and material, shadow and light, into a dynamic equilibrium. The card's imagery, such as the angel pouring liquid between chalices and standing between earth and water, illustrates this act of reconciliation and integration. The phrase bringer forth of life points to Temperance's role as an agent of creative transformation. Just as the alchemist tempers metal to make it stronger and more flexible, Temperance transforms the raw elements of our lives into harmony and wholeness. Through its process of balancing and refining, the card inspires growth, evolution, and the emergence of new potential. In essence, bringing forth new life from the union of opposites. Therefore, this esoteric title encapsulates Temperance's power to reconcile differences and foster the birth of something greater, the living expression of harmony, balance, and higher purpose. Now let's look at the elemental, astrological, and planetary correspondences of this card. So, Temperance is associated with the element of fire, which corresponds with Sagittarius, a zodiac sign recognized for its playfulness, optimism, and philosophical nature. This fire represents a pursuit of understanding, prompting inquiries into meaning and truth. The planetary ruler of Temperance is Jupiter, symbolizing expansion, wisdom, faith, and personal growth. In this context, fire signifies transformation and purposeful illumination rather than destruction. The core meanings of this card are adaptation, evolution, and balance. It reminds us that life is a process of tempering, of being challenged and reshaped until we are strong, clear, and aligned with purpose. It asks for patience, moderation, and a conscious adjustment, not repression of extremes, but their sacred integration. In its shadow form, Temperance can manifest as addiction, self-doubt, temptation, or imbalance, when we cling to excess or resist change. But even these challenges are part of the alchemical process. They initiate and temper us, refining the base metal of our nature into the gold of self-mastery. Now take a moment to pause and reflect, and ask yourself, in what areas of my life am I seeking balance between opposing forces? How might I bring more integration between my spiritual values and my everyday actions? Where am I tempted by extremes, and how can I practice moderation and harmony instead? And what does it mean to me to be a living expression of harmony? In what ways can I embody this more fully? Be sure to journal any insights as they come. And so the Fool has met with Temperance, a gentle, luminous figure on the winding path. Here the Fool is invited to pause and to breathe and to harmonize the inner and outer realms. This encounter is not merely a rest, but a vital alchemical process. The Fool learns to integrate opposites, to blend passion with patience, impulse with wisdom, and to discover that true growth comes from conscious balance. It is through Temperance that the Fool's wild spirit is refined, transformed by the fires of experience into clarity and grace. And now the Fool steps forward once more and encounters the devil himself, where he is confronted by his own shadows, temptations, and the challenge of breaking free from illusion and bondage. Join me next as we step into the card of the devil.